Rocky
Marciano.
You knew him? You saw him fight?
Ooh, he hit hard. He hit you so hard it jarred Kim folks in Africa.
But you think you could have beaten him, too?
Well, it'll been rough. Look, I don't take nothing from these fellas. Especially...
Rocky Marciano, tough as a rock.
You are watching Old School Boxing, the home of true legends. In this video, we dive deep into how the undefeated Rocky Marciano really trained, the brutal routines that shaped him, and the raw discipline behind his knockout power. But that's not all. We'll also explore the struggles of his early life, from working-class roots to military service, and the path that led him to boxing glory. Get ready for an inspiring journey into the heart of a true warrior. Born Rocco Francis Marciano. On September 1st, 1923, in Brockton, Massachusetts, Rocky was the son of Italian immigrants. His father, Pierino, worked in a shoe factory and as a laborer, and his mother, Pasqualina, was a homemaker. Life for the Marciano family wasn't easy. The Great Depression had crippled the economy, and Brockton, once a booming shoe manufacturing town, was feeling the squeeze. From a young age, Rocky learned the value of hard work. As a boy, he delivered ice blocks for extra cash and helped his father with coal delivery. The work was brutal, but it built in him a rugged strength that would become one of his greatest assets in the ring. Marciano wasn't a standout athlete in his early years. He tried his hand at baseball and football, but wasn't particularly exceptional at either. What he did possess was raw strength and an unbreakable will. After dropping out of school, he worked various blue-collar jobs, but his life took a dramatic turn when he was drafted into the US Army in 1943 during World War II. The Army played a pivotal role in shaping Marciano's discipline and introducing him to structured physical training. Stationed in Wales, he served as a truck driver and also took part in organizing physical activities and boxing exhibitions for the troops. It was during his military service that Marciano had his first taste of boxing. Initially, it was just a way to kill time, but the moment he stepped into the ring, something clicked. He wasn't polished, far from it, but his punches had power, and his hunger to learn was unmatched. He began training under Army boxing coaches, learning the fundamentals. Though he was already in his 20s, a late start for a boxer, Marciano was determined to catch up quickly. After his discharge in 1946, Marciano returned to Brockton with a burning desire to become a professional athlete. He briefly pursued baseball and even tried out for the Chicago Cubs, but didn't make the cut. Still, his time in the Army had introduced him to boxing, and he realized it was the only path that could offer him the success he craved. He began training in earnest at the YMCA gym in Providence, Rhode Island, under the guidance of local trainer Al Weil. Weil would later become Marciano's manager, though their relationship was often tense. His first serious trainer, however, was Charlie Goldman, a seasoned boxing coach who had a keen eye for potential and a knack for working with smaller heavyweights. Charlie Goldman was a former bantamweight fighter himself, and he immediately recognized that Marciano was a project. He wasn't fast, he wasn't tall, and his boxing skills were raw at best. But Goldman also saw something else. An indomitable spirit and a willingness to suffer in training that few fighters possessed. Goldman's philosophy was simple: tailor a style to fit the fighter, not the other way around. With Marciano, he had to build everything from scratch. Goldman famously said, "I got a guy who can't box, can't punch, and is slow as molasses, but I can make a champion out of him." That statement wasn't entirely fair. Marciano could punch, but it reflected the daunting challenge Goldman faced. Together, they crafted a brutal and relentless training regimen. Goldman focused on conditioning first. "You can't teach a guy like Rocky to dance in the ring," he would say, "but you can teach him to outlast and outpunch his opponents." Marciano's training was old school, grueling, and borderline obsessive. He would run 6 to 7 miles every morning, regardless of weather. Even on snowy days in Brockton, he could be seen running with heavy boots through icy streets. He believed that road work was the foundation of a fighter's stamina, and his endurance in the ring would later become legendary. Unlike many fighters who cut corners between fights, Marciano lived like a monk. No alcohol, no smoking, no nightlife. His focus was absolute. In the gym, his routine was punishing. He would spar for 10 to 15 rounds, often against multiple partners in a row. If one sparring partner got tired, another would jump in, keeping the pressure on. This simulating of the worst-case scenario kept Marciano sharp and ready for anything. He practiced throwing punches with weights in his hands to build strength and speed. He hit the heavy bag for extended periods, focusing especially on his signature right hand, the Susie Q, which became one of the most feared punches in boxing. One of the most remarkable aspects of Marciano's training was his dedication to physical toughness. He would toughen his hands and forearms by pounding on tree trunks and metal pipes. He even had special leather medicine balls thrown at his abdomen repeatedly to strengthen his core and build resistance to body blows. He trained in silence, with minimal distraction, and adhered to a strict diet. Every calorie, every hour of sleep, every exercise was calculated for one purpose: to win. Another key figure in his training camp was Freddie Brown, a cutman and assistant trainer. Brown and Goldman worked together to sharpen Rocky's crude style into an effective swarming attack. They focused on footwork, head movement, and ring awareness. Marciano was taught to stay low, keep his chin tucked, and throw punches in tight arcs to maximize his power. He was never graceful, but he was efficient. He had a way of closing distance with awkward but effective footwork, forcing his opponents into uncomfortable exchanges. His compact stature, just 5 feet 10 inches with a 68-inch reach, meant he had to get inside to land shots, and his relentless pressure was designed to wear down bigger opponents. Marciano's training camps were legendary for their intensity. They were held in secluded locations, often in the mountains, where distractions were minimal and the air was thin. Training at altitude added to his already formidable conditioning. He would wake up at dawn, run several miles uphill, eat a carefully measured breakfast, then train for hours. The afternoons were filled with more sparring, calisthenics, and study. Marciano would watch film of his opponents, though he rarely adjusted his style much. His approach was simple: get in close, throw punches in bunches, and break the opponent's will. Psychological preparation was also a part of his training. Marciano believed in visualizing victory. He would lie in bed and replay imagined scenarios in his head, every punch, every movement, every possible outcome. He trained not just his body, but his mind. He believed that the real fight was often won in the gym, and by the time he stepped into the ring, he was mentally prepared for war. As he rose through the ranks, Marciano's reputation grew. He knocked out seasoned fighters like Joe Louis, Jersey Joe Walcott, Ezzard Charles, and Archie Moore. Each victory was a testament to his relentless style and unshakable conditioning. Opponents described him as a machine. He didn't stop coming forward, no matter how many punches he took. That was the product of his training. A body built to endure, a mind steeled against fear, and a heart that refused to quit. Marciano's record, 49 wins, 0 losses, with 43 knockouts, speaks for itself. But the truth behind those numbers lies in the training that made it possible. His success wasn't due to natural talent alone. In fact, many experts believed he lacked the finesse of other champions. But he made up for it with intensity, preparation, and an unwavering belief in his methods. Even after he retired in 1956, Marciano never lost his discipline. He stayed in shape, remained humble, and was always willing to talk about his journey. He never forgot the men who helped him get there, especially Charlie Goldman, who remained a mentor and friend throughout his life. Marciano's death in a plane crash in 1969, on the eve of his 46th birthday, shocked the sports world. But his legacy endures, not just in his record, but in the standard he set for what it means to be a fighter. To this day, trainers and boxers study Marciano's approach. His story is not just about victory, It's about the power of work ethic, the importance of good mentors, and the ability to turn limitations into strengths. Rocky Marciano didn't just train hard, he trained with purpose. His life, marked by discipline, sacrifice, and an unrelenting drive to succeed, offers a timeless lesson. Greatness isn't born. It's forged, day after day, in the sweat-soaked gyms and early morning runs, far from the lights of the ring. Thanks for watching Old School Boxing. Rocky Marciano's journey wasn't just about punches and victories, it was about heart, grit, and an unbreakable will. From his tough beginnings to his intense training and unmatched work ethic, Marciano showed the world what it truly means to fight for greatness. If you enjoyed learning about his path to becoming a legend, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the lives of boxing's greatest warriors. Drop a comment below on which legend you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, keep the old school spirit alive.